Reporting in progress.
Really? That's from the report. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance. And thank you very much. Good morning. It is the 10th, in case you don't know. I have my watch nowadays. Okay. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, now that you've been set time down, comfortable, would you take it over, please?
Well, since I am the program today, and I want to find out what's new with everybody here.
Every damn thing.
I have a couple of dollars. One is for the retirement of a friend of mine. He's been the director of high school for 30 years. He retired with the Air. Last night, Nolan had his final middle school concert, so and and director, I said, you have had 3 generations of the Nolan family. He went, no. He said, yeah. I said, here's one. I was in an alumni again, and he directed. My daughter was one of his students, and then last night, Nolan was the combined 8th grade concert and symphony band. So he said, I don't think I've had 3 generations. There you go. And the second one is got a real good friend of the band's also that's in the hospital. We gardening and fell off the raised part of it. I remember it's about 8 feet down. Broke 6 ribs. He's having to go. He's having to.
I have a dollar. Yeah. Let's see. Here's a dollar for cussing at the beginning. And for spilling a large coffee over the floor.
Encourage answers.
Yeah, so it wasn't the man. You know. You get into I got a happy dollar, but I spent it in my first 2 pairs of shoes. Open it, I know. Hope together people will know where it is.
Does it count if we bicycle and ride from my truck to the real driveway when you leave?
Absolutely.
Okay.
1K fund. Which one is it? It's like over 100. I must apologize for being rude and walking in on your discussion. I was looking forward to hearing about it, so you'll have to give me a solo update. I am extremely passionate as well about my cycling. I don't do anywhere near enough of it, but the moments are precious. But I was fortunate to be able to hang out with my grandson this morning for a little bit. That's my excuse for being worried.
Well, I'm going to give you a personal invitation to join the Rotary Cycling to Serve Fellowship. And
And
I've got,
we had that conversation when I first started attending, and actually my wife and I put together a fundraising ride for Epworth that I will, I'm going to try and get them to come and talk to the group coming up here, but we've done 2 for them, and here's a whole long backstory that I won't bore anybody with. There's nothing like being on the road. On 2 pedals.
yeah.
Oh, no, there's.
My retire is pretty clear. Which is why I
Hold on.
But inside of there's a place we. If I realize that. Better regionals.
Hang on a minute.
Where's the-
You're on your own.
I'm very Started off by mentioned in the morning, my lower right shoulder. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. It really was very nice. Those were much. Chicago really rainy weather. Got in there about noon and. A little side story on train is the old lady with a seizure problem the previous week, and needed to get back to Seattle. And they suggested do not fly with this child because the altitude change, so she had an interesting way to go. And fortunately, he told me from Chicago to Seattle, he had a sleeper car. And he's still, 7-month-old kid and all the stuff that goes with it. So my tour, dragging bicycle, one suitcase didn't seem so fun. But anyway, we got into Chicago and it turned windy, on north, rainy, and the commuter station about 3 blocks north of Union Station. So I somehow got this 30-pound pseudo backpack thing on my back, no bike shoes. I rode 3 blocks around the commuter station. The commuter station is beautiful, but it's really hard to figure out where do I buy a ticket to train because it's full of stores. It's a great looking store. I don't need stuff. But having found that, within 5 minutes down the train to Evanston, I have a good friend, Christian Brown, her husband Mahmoud. He's a former Rotary employee now, is a very active Rotary member. They put me up most times when I go to Chicago area. Tonight, she had a Zoom meeting at 7:30 for an hour. Her husband was not doing well. Next morning, we cycled about 1.5 miles to ORC, One Rotary Center. It took me a while to figure out what is ORC. In the barge business, it was Ohio River Company, but they had it. But anyway, there we attended the Evanston Lighthouse Rotary Club.
And, pretty large meeting, a lot of people there. Busy agenda. And, my friend Evan Blotting, the chairman of the cycling, not cycling, the Rotary Action Group for Diabetes. He and I both got to say 25 seconds. After the meeting, about 8:45. Go ahead, David. That's Edwin Blotting right there, myself, head of the back. Young people doing whatever young people doing on their computers, I couldn't really tell. They did talk about Ryla, youth activities and different events the club has got going on. About 8:45, go ahead. We met out in front of ORC and gathered and take a few pictures before we left. In the center is Edwin and myself. Guy in the yellow to the right is a guy named Lee, not a Rotarian. He decided to shortcut. I'll just say to Gary, Indiana. You've been to Gary, Indiana. You don't want to shortcut to Gary. Well, you know, it's pretty interesting. Edwin's wife is lady with epic jersey to the right on this side. And she drove a support van for us, kept pretty near wherever we were. I believe that's her sister. They have family in the north of Chicago area. But, all right, go ahead, Dave. We head out southbound and it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get near Chicago. That day, the wind was coming very strong on Lake Michigan. In some areas, the waves were lapping where we had to ride close to that side of the picture. In this picture right here, Gene Souders, he works in Rotary International. That's our ride shortcut gentleman, Edwin and myself. And the wind, not great. The wind was blowing in the right direction, more or less. We go ahead. Okay, this is the first night. We took over a restaurant called the Hummingbird Cafe in New Buffalo, Indiana. So owned by a Rotarian. He opened that night for us. Had about 40 people there where everyone was discussing his situation with diabetes and how kind of attack it. That day was about 65 miles. And all down. There weren't too many hills. On the day one, we actually ended up in Chesterton, Indiana, because we were running out of time. We knew you can't see there's like 40 people there. We were a short hour late. So they loaded up the van, which is hilarious to get. The van was full anyway, but it takes up put bikes in, people in, and get back in. That evening, I was hosted by a gentleman named Larry Squires. He was past president of Evanston Lighthouse Club, but he happened to know Kristen Brown, my contact in Evanston, very, very well. In fact, he knew her father. He's very active in New Buffalo Club, and also he lives in Three Oaks. He's 85 years old. Let's see if I can flip over there. He's 85 years old. He looks like he's about 65. And wonderful gentleman. And I got my own little nice thing over to stay there while I was there. He lives in a place called Three Oaks, which is about 7 or 8 miles away from New Buffalo. The next morning, he brought me back to the house where other cyclists were out for the evening. And so on day 2, it was about 40 degrees in the morning, wind out of the north, because in this time of year, if it's 40 degrees, the wind is from the north. And we had to go to the north. And about 4 or 5 Rotarians met us along the way to riding from New Buffalo, which is in the southwest part of Michigan, up to South Bay to become a summer resort, which is very, very nice. And different Rotarians met us along the way and stayed with us. In fact, guided us because the main road between points A and B is really rough and battle started, we did a lot of country roads back and forth. During the middle of the day, we stopped at the grocery store and I managed to buy some of those animals and some bright orange gloves, which make it look like a Disney character or something. When it's 40 degrees, to wear anything. That evening, that would be or the host family, very soon flying in South Haven, Michigan. She's the current president of that as well. Former resident of Evanston, a lot of people from Evanston over to Michigan. Love over Lake Michigan. Then we got in with the change clothes. Got in the car going about 7 or 8 miles to another road train. Big, wonderful brand new house, designed for entertainment. They had a nice buffet dinner for us. Another 30 or 40 people covered that. Yeah. Edward spoke on Diabetic Action Group. And then once we get done, all right. Our Lady, Mary Sue Line from Battle Creek, not Battle Creek, South Haven made a wonderful breakfast for us. And the group has met with a group of Rotarians in the city square to cycle off to Battle Creek. Well, what Lincoln just gave us 15-minute, 5-mile tour of the city bicycle. Like, I think 5 miles for 17 times. But you know, we're going to thank you for everything. We have an office that was about 20 miles on a really beautiful bike trail, but it was not paved, kind of hard packed. The efficiency there is not good. But one of the little towns of Bloomingdale, they do a grocery store. We talked to the young lady named Jane, who actually rode 20 miles west to meet us, to bring us, to guide us back to Battle Creek. And so she guided us back on the roads, because you go a lot faster on roads than you can on the paths. A little more dangerous, but we needed to get it. Late in the afternoon, our lunch stop, our time was 3 o'clock in Kalamazoo. And some members of the Cereal City Sunrise for lunch, and a microbrewery, good food and so forth, and then more Rotaries. Well, this is on 83, a park supported by Lakeshore Rotary Club. Nice park, a little bit off the route. There's my gloves that were the fashion place we're at. And middle-aged men in tights. Well, this is then also in day 2. This young lady is with because for the media company, he got us to press us on what we were doing. Edwin was actually interviewed on the radio several times during the event. You know me for years. My body's a temper. My lunch that day was Corona beer, French onion soup, and biscuits and bread. And the wind was quite good. Let's see. Okay, so after on Thursday, we ended up getting the Battle Creek help with the young lady, Jenny, who guided us there. The bike shop worker. By the way, she rode like an extra 40 miles to come get us. Her bicycle has a electronic shifting, which was not working, so she only had 1 speed. But she still miles, 1 speed. When you're 23, you're 50. Fascinating ladies. Coast Guard event crew. You get a lot of time to talk about these rides. Part of the life story was she had a heart condition and she blacked out at 55 miles an hour and get cold or something, caused major damage to the job. And this doing quite well now. So, you never know what some people offer up with their stories. But she got us into the bike shop and back up pretty hero. more cereal city Rotary Club members were involved in this, for sandwiches and celebrations. And so forth. Oh, this is in front of Mary Sue Lyons home in South Haven. That's Edwin. A lot of tulips that part of the world. This is the view from South Haven, looking out to the lake, which is the little lighthouse. And let's see, this is a group from some of the riders from South Haven doing a little tour around town. Go ahead, flip again. This is this part of the South Haven Trail that is actually paved, which is not a lot. But this is Edwin, and this is Robin. She's a Rotarian from Cereal City Rotary. She was just named like Realtor of the Year for the area yesterday, and she also decided. Oh, this is our welcome in Cereal City Rotary. And TR Shaw, the center, who's actually getting more into riding now. He's a retired, he sold his fuel business 10 years ago. And Edwin says this is a sign for diabetes. I have to believe that he should know. And that's James in the center who heroically saved us. And this is the entrance to the back up. Oh, it is what? Yeah, that's that was from Donald, California, someplace. And Edwin runs the business side of it. And they had a drive-through practice last year. Someone drove through. In my office and all over back into all in business control inside. But anyway, Edwin and his wife. This is the entrance hall to the conference. I'll give you a little more about the conference. District 6360 Rotary, their district conference was last Friday and Saturday. It was held at the Firekeepers Casino Hotel, which is about 7 miles east of Battle Creek, Michigan. Very large complex. Big hotel left, big hotel right. All these funny machines. I forgot that, sorry. And fellow Rotarians, one thing that was shocking, we had lunch and dinner, every meal was really good. I was like blown away.
How much chicken?
I don't think that's. Human sales on Monday.
That's unusual.
It's helpful to any reservations. Look at your service. Firearms of any kind. And no marijuana of any kind or whatever. There's dispensaries all over the place. No, and it's on the Indian reservation and all of a sudden. Security at this hotel is amazing. Every time we went to our room, there was a security guard at the foot of the elevator banks. And once they but they were a tight ship. And it's great. The shocking thing was, I think going about a couple last rounds. Anyway, they had about 310 days. I would say 75 year after ruling young people. I compare this returns to on the speakers. They had Friday speakers like Taylor Huey and Mitty Tang. Many of you probably meet Mitty Tang. They were speaking on attracting the younger generation, which is on a very good topic. Another early afternoon was a young man named Orion Gene, a 6th grader from Texas. He features he's on kindness, and now you see him. Follow me later when we see him speak on YouTube. Very 12 years old. He's going to program to raise hundreds of toys and things like that. The second speaker was a young lady named Sharon Wary, showcasing her international service trip that she's done 10 years ago.
impacted my life to this point. He did a polio trip. The third, let me see, I bring that books up here. The third speaker was a gentleman named Wooge Young from Minneapolis, St. Paul. He's a former Rotary Ambassador scholar. He's now an attorney. And one thing he said, his United States kidnapped for dinner, and he wasn't real familiar with the language yet. When they came out of the restaurant, his host, it was raining, his host swimming. Yeah. So Woods thought that was the word for rain. So he dropped the S word about 10 times in that talk, but it was really funny. And very good speaker about his life in Rotary. I have not had a chance to read this yet. It's Rotary Journey. Very, very good speaker. Later that afternoon, on the first day, they had a paint your pinky for polio paint. And if I say gentlemen, old gentlemen, they're all probably 5 years older than me, but I helped man the table for a while, and they raised about $1,100 for polio. At that story mind the thing, I managed one shift in Friday night. I kept the money in my room for safekeeping. I had to sleep like this because Joy was there. But she's not a Rotarian, so you gotta watch it. But they're raising a good bit of money. The gentleman from California named Donald Kleinfeld, San Clemente, spoke on this being a service-driven leader. And here's what you do, but all the different steps to become a good Rotary leader, and good leader in general. But he did a very fine job. In fact, he came back evening and spoke bad on himself. Friday night they had a Kentucky Derby hat contest and party, and they brought all the people up on stage, and we, clapped for the best of the four. My friend Edward and I were going to put our bike helmets on, put a flower, and see. We never got to that point. On Saturday,
Is that an adult language?
oh, that's a little game like you roll the dice and you move a little. Those are horses, and you move squares up to the end. It's designed to take your money to the polio. And it's fine. It was fun. And go ahead one more. See what else is there. Oh, there's my friend Ed Foster. I realized how hard it is to paint a fingernail. I thought it was. I want to keep my day job. I'm not going to be done. These are some of the ladies. How in between sessions, my home host lady is in the center with a light colored jacket on, Mary Sue Lyon, and friends of Rotary. Happy to be there.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Wow.
I keep flipping and
You can't do anything more. Public statement, Doug Wilkin, Rotary Club, Halifax, Canada, presented a level to make your club irresistible. He has sent me the PowerPoint presentation, which I'll give to you and Dave. Good for discussions on different things. It was very good. And July 12th will be an excellent day for that. We can put that down. But he did a great job. Anyway, I know it's early, but it was compared to our district conference. Better speakers. I'm talking in postal media, but it was quite a thing. What I liked is it wasn't fun to draw. I think there's only two clubs in Battle Creek, the Battle Creek Club and the Serial City Sunrise Club. Don't seem to get along well. Battle Creek seems kind of suffering. They're not in Chicago. And I only think they made two of their serial brands in Battle Creek. No,
Yeah, you just want to put something there.
so, couple products one.
Was that the location where there was stuff things? By posting laws?
I think so, but how,
Yeah. You have that one place 3 times a day. Either heat treatments or steam treatments.
it's kind of, the center city is almost like a time warp. The local bike shop, which is quite large, takes over like 17,000 square feet, but they have 2 floors. Stuff. And it's in 1960 part of downtown. They've been there for 17 years, this location. And the eyeball bikes when you walk through it, sell the bikes $8,000 or $9,000. That's a little bit from my blood at this point. So anyway, it's interesting to see another district conference, and like all of them, they're very helpful, very open, very helpful. And, anyway, that's the side of it. Yes, they have
Was it goal to raise money for
more awareness.
awareness? Okay.
We actually gave money to their Serial City Club to host a diabetic awareness fund. We're to give away money, but not take money in. It's like in the survey, or fellowship is more take money in the program. This is possible. So we presented them a check for $1,000. And they are all in on the diabetic awareness. I didn't know what to expect. I was mainly there to be having support person. If anything went wrong, we had each other's back. Because on bike trails, his wife and the support man can't be near you all the time. They could be 5, 10 miles away. But a lot of good awareness and fellowship, and the weather could have been a little better. It makes a better story than the weather bad. Yeah. This young man, orientation, I saw him. You can't remember. I think he might have been Hubbard. Is that or Zolmi? Probably Hubbard. But I'm trying to see that like Time Magazine's Kid of the Year. It's better than most adults. And we did ask him because he's homeschooled now. He has a pretty busy schedule. He has several books out. And his mom was there, traveling with mom. He's 12 years old. It's quite impressive. So I think there's some good meat in this district conference. I think we'll see more benefits later on. I know, thinking back to my diabetic journey, which started about 6 or 7 years ago, right before the Atlanta Rotary Convention. That's when I knew I could trust right with my pharmacist, because I took about 3 days of medicine I needed for a 7-day trip. And I didn't get a hold of Brian today. What do I do? He got me some, I think it was my favorite metformin delivered down to Atlanta for me. But I got as far as getting old as being a medicine taker. It was wonderful to spend the evening with close families for actually 3 nights. And just showed how helpful Rotarians are. And they enjoyed it as well. Yeah, I wish I could eat like that again. Anyway, that's where the story for me for my 11 adventure. This is I think the route's on the back. That's why I follow it and see where we are now. Pardon me?
Turn around.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
The
very
true shortcut would have been
the weird thing is, you can so many twist, turn left, right, up, down, back. Yes, and trying to one.
Walking.
I did cycle from Chicago to Milwaukee 10, 15 years ago. From any RRY, YFAC. Halfway, somewhere, so, it depends on the motel, the very idea. I think it's so small, I don't think it's really, but, anyway, that's the story so far, and, any other questions about this fabulous epic journey?
Next ride.
Big ride is gonna be with Rotary right across Iowa. That's what it's like.
I don't think you'll have to about 40 degrees then.
When they see this.
Yeah.
So, young people in clubs. They'll get a 3 yard. They just get 3 yard. So. I understand. Last year was one of the comments of the games. I don't know which one. Hey, I think that's the next thing. Anyway. And that'll be from, this city on the road. Point by that way and then have one finish up. Yeah, like last year, John Schultz and Cedar Rapids will lead us again. We're raising a band and so forth. We'll host a lot of Rotary families.
Now that's a big Iowa ride, right? That goes on.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Last year, around 15,000.
Annual.
Register, the paper is the morning register annual grade black ride across Iowa. They're expecting, they can come in the morning, they're expecting 50,000 or so. And I learned, I got smart because I do research. I packed clothes last year for every day. And in every bag I got $50 in cash, nothing bigger than a 10. Because when 15,000 riders hit the Podunk, Iowa,
Yeah.
you know, we did an ATM. And I did use the ATM in some stores once in a while. I didn't count on it. And the church ladies they don't take Venmo. For their delicious sugar-free coffee. In fact, one of the stop last year was in a convenience store. And the line was all the way through the store because all the people. And I bought an ice cream bar, was one off and stuff, and it's diabetic, running all day. And so by the time I got to the, all the way down to the checkout counter, I had the cardboard QR code secured. And the line at the store was, can't call her name now, but I get cyclist from St. Louis, very lovely lady who's a trauma nurse, and she was up there for the ride. And I met other little charities on the ride, kids from St. Louis. It's, I'll put it this way. Day 7 last year, right on the level, the downhill finish, I cried. Not like my puppy dog died, I was just curious at this, so, because it was, it's hard or easy to walk. I didn't walk up one hill, because it was like half a mile of hill. But it was quite the adventure. I'm looking forward to it again. Sometimes at Rotary fundraisers, I would stop and shoot with that for a while. And, I think they were selling French toast sticks. Another help I had. I'm looking forward to it. So
Except that one hill,
I was not going. They keep in the graph. The computer software shows how many feet of gain, and might be 1,500 feet gain in 50 miles.
Oh.
So they'll be some hill. I'd rather be some hill up and down. Because flat can be the left. I was the other day in Michigan. I thought that long flat trail was off. It just was barely graded up and down, and it's fun for half an hour. Oh, the most important thing, I saw these bushes off to the side, I had no idea. So I asked, blueberry bush. I just thought blueberries were for. But it was up and down the season now, but they quite a lot of blueberry.
All right.
That's the story, and then Marianne,
That's okay.
We have a double feature.
We have a double feature today.
Thanks, Tom. Not only for this, but for what you're doing. Dicey, thanks not only for this, but for what you're doing. As long as you don't pass out. To what? I'll get your flash drive back.
But yes, I practiced the speech, but not at a podium, so this was an opportunity to do this from a podium. My background, I got the Central Lab 29 years, 29 years in the mid-90s. And it's been a great run. One of my church members mentored me original senior speech. So I decided it was at my age and health situations, it was time to move on. So anyway, I told the president that, what did you do with your message? He said, sure. So that's kind of what I want to practice on today. And hopefully I won't stumble too much. And the other thing I'm finding is a voice problem. So I'm hoping you can hear me in my projection. It's really called Pillars to a Fulfilling Life. That's the title of the message speech. You must start the timer. Good afternoon to the 381 graduates class of 2023. You should be proud of completing your studies and receiving your diplomas. It promises you hard work, dedication, and perhaps some sacrifice. But hopefully along the way, you have enjoyed much experience and made a lifelong friends. There are undoubtedly people in your life who help you like your journey. Parents, spouses, significant others, children, family members, and along with the outstanding CMU faculty, coaches, and support staff. Graduates, please stand and turn to the audience. Give a resounding applause as a thanks to all who have helped make this day possible. So they will stand up. That'll take a little bit. Now, as you settle back in your seats, I hope to impart some ideas to help you on your future journey. Clearly, the world you face is very different than the world I took on as a young graduate. And in 10 or 20 years, it will be vastly different than it is today. Computers will be so powerful, they will surpass human intelligence. We are already seeing that today with the advent of artificial intelligence. Driverless cars will be more prevalent and safe. Biotechnology is advancing to the point where you can alter the DNA of a cell, meaning you can influence the characteristics of your descendants. And due to better medical practices and innovation, a lot more of you are going to live to 100 years old than in my generation. But the human experience remains the same. There are some universal truths that remain unchanged, despite the passage of time, advances in technology, and how society has changed. And believe it or not, age and experience can sometimes provide valuable insight into the broader world and how to navigate within it. Now that you've received your degree, many of you are sitting here today wondering, what's next? Those were my thoughts many years ago at my graduation from the zoo. The first phase of my life was committed to serving in the 2 years in the Army. That was mandatory at the time for most males that were not married and had children. While serving in Germany, I thought about my return to civilian life and what I would consider fulfilling and successful. My degree was in accounting, so I tend to put things in categories. I looked at 4 specific areas, and I'm going to call them pillars that I should focus on in order to make an impact. Those pillars are family, personal, profession, industry, and community. Let me repeat those again. Family, personal, profession, industry, and community. My thought was, if I could set goals to achieve some level of success or satisfaction in each of these areas, the result would be a meaningful life. Let's go through each of my pillars and the goals that I set more in more detail. First and most importantly is family. Build a loving and supportive relationship with your spouse or a partner, as well as with your extended family or the family you create. Sometimes that's not always biological, but a good support system will take you far. If there are children in the family, nurture and guide them to develop into happy and productive adults. This is a tougher task than past generations have had. With the advances of technology and social media over a relatively short period of time, the challenges to mental health, particularly for young people, are massive. Monitoring your children's lives concerning social media, drugs, and alcohol is critical. Support your partner and your children. Get involved in their interests, whatever they may be. Coach a team, become an adult leader, but always be supportive. Lastly, be prepared to have non-expected family challenges. You can dream, plan, and prepare for family life to go perfectly and life intervene. It's good to realize that despite your best and most earnest efforts, frankly, you are only marginally in control. Expecting the unexpected is generally a good rule to follow. Let's talk about profession next. Find a profession or job in an industry where you can enjoy the work and where your efforts will make a difference. This may not be found in your early jobs and not in your field of study, so don't get pigeonholed or stuck just because your degree says this is what you do. There are many of us on the stage today who look back and say, how the heck did I wind up here? Be open to opportunities and unafraid to take a bold leap. Become an integral part of your job, showing abilities that will be beneficial to the organization. This could lead to more senior, experienced workers mentoring you and paving the way for new and different opportunities. Be friendly, respectful, and cooperative with your coworkers and clients. Having a reputation for being kind is one of the best goals you can set for yourself. And above all, do what you say you're going to do, period. If you can be relied upon, you will rise like a rocket in whatever profession you choose. Next, let's talk about industry. There will probably be opportunities to join organizations locally, regionally, and nationally. Locally, you will undoubtedly meet those you'll meet. And you may find developing a relationship with them could be mutually beneficial. Take advantage of these relationships. You never know where it might lead. On regional and national levels, involvement in meetings and seminars can benefit you educationally and allow you to meet prominent members in your industry. Take advantage of these people to share ideas and further your personal and professional growth. You may find that they are more willing to offer support or ideas than those at your local level. Lastly, the fourth pillar, community. Get involved in your community to make it better for all concerned. Strive to meet people outside your normal circle. They can become friends. Some areas you might consider. Church, of course, since you're graduating from church-related university. You can teach Sunday school, volunteer around the church, serve on committees, and be a leader, or go on mission trips. Next are service clubs in your community. Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions, Optimist community. And then there's nonprofit organizations, such as food banks and giving groups that support you. So as a young 20-something looking down the road, this is how I frame my future and what I would consider a successful life. Now that I'm in the twilight of my years, or as golfers would say, I'm on the back nine. You may ask, how did that work out? Did you achieve your goals in each of these pillars? I will say that having a focus in each of these areas is very helpful. Let me share with you how this helped guide my life. Family, as I said earlier, is the most formidable part of these pillars. My late wife and I enjoyed 33 years of marriage. I've been married to my current wife, who's also with her for over 22 years. Both have been rewarding, supportive, and loving relationships. Our family consists of 2 only children, and we have created a tight, blended family, which is gratifying. Our daughter, a stepdaughter to me, excelled in her college experience and is happily married and loves the job she has involved in. Not so much her first job after graduation. Remember to be patient, you will find her. My son and his wife have a very successful small business. And by the way, my son's college degree was in anthropology. Be open to different opportunities beyond your college degree. They are parents of 2 outstanding children. One is finishing her sophomore year in college, and the other is graduating this month from high school. The hype about being a grandparent is absolutely true. If you remember nothing else here today, remember this advice: have grandchildren. As is the case with most families, we have had unexperienced challenges. My first wife died 21 months after a double lung transplant. Our family was impacted by 2 fatal car accidents. And my son had a bone marrow transplant 3 years ago. I'm happy to say he was looking great and is here in the audience. Those were incredibly tough to do. Sometimes it's hard to reconcile adversity and suffering with the existence of God. But as humans, we're blessed with the gifts of resilience and hope. Grief gives us courage to continue living after the loss of our heartbreak, while learning to honor and cherish profession. My career challenges came after finishing my Army operations. After much discernment, I decided to go into the family office. It was small. We had 5 employees, and I wasn't sure where the future would go. Well, over 30 years, through mergers and acquisitions, we became a major player in the office products industry. The company was sold to an international firm, and all 65 employees offered jobs. I consider that the ultimate career success, taking care of my people. So let's talk about industry. I made a number of industry friends through my involvement at regional and both national level. These friends were integral in both the success and the sale of my company. But more importantly, they were valued friends. At the time, it became apparent I should sell my business in the consolidating industry. My involvement in the office products industry was a real plus in knowing the right people responsible for forming company. Now let's talk about community. I've been a long time member of the Service Corps. This has developed many friendships as well as the participation in an organization that has served our community and the world beyond. The national organization I belong to is responsible for eliminating polio around the world. On 2 occasions, I benefited from this organization personally. First, one member brought me a major client, and the second, another member mentored me into a directorship of his organization, which resulted in some financial success. I've been a member of the St. Louis Church since marrying my late wife 2 decades ago. I served many leadership roles in the church, and over the years was involved at the state level in a number of capacities. A church friend mentored me into Central Methodist University because I'm not a graduate of Central. Well, I fell in love with my wife Sue, who was a Methodist churchman, joined her church, and was open to opportunities. After 28 years of CMU board membership It's been an absolute joy to have been part of this exciting time. It is my hope that you have learned something today from my 4 pillars that may help you create a fulfilling life, just as you have earned your degree from Central Methodist University. There's something more I'd like you to consider. Support Central financially. Since its beginning in 1854, alumni and friends have contributed to the construction of all the buildings that have been used in your education. Just since my time serving on the board, the Inman Student Activity Center and 5 Martin have been built. Also, Stedman, Classic, and Klingenbiel have been renovated, along with major improvements in the athletic. We also invested significantly in online education and digital university, from which you have benefited. Let me say, CMU was ahead of its time. Your contributions will help the future Central students. They have a quality education like yours. The contributions can be small to begin, but think about increasing them as you're in the future as your learning grows. Finally, I want to thank you for the opportunity this afternoon to have had a role in your graduation. I wish you well, and once congratulations on your degree, Central Methodist University. Thank you. Thank you. We work hard.
I'm just curious, you didn't mention Rotary name, but the polio thing made you think that. Is there a reason?
No, I don't think. We didn't mention the Rotary organization.
Yeah, right. The first one.
There's only so much you can do. Something out of it. And I would have made probably $800,000.
Well, you were a minute and 11 seconds shy, so if you want to say that Rotary did.
What was it?
1340.
Oh, that's good. Well, I had some time because the students didn't go.
Yeah. And they're going to interrupt the other. Going to stand
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much for previewing.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, like. To the emails from Dave saying that there's meetings where, you know, that you're meeting at days or we're meeting and I should have known on last Wednesday. I haven't been getting emails.
Your email, somebody, and it was not me, somebody deleted your email. It was listed as opt out. So legally, I can't change it, but illegally, stop recording. I went ahead and added your personal email, the B Hercules 1717, and took the opt out off.
Contributions. Offer up to matches up to $5,000 for donating to the community chest. There is the protective mind to go towards that. And the suggestion there was, if you want to give to the community chest instead of the Rotary Foundation, that's fine. If you want to give to both, that's even better. So please continue that. Drawing, sir.
Very quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
We're interviewing our first group of students for our Rotary Scholarship that will be one in 10. We're doing that tomorrow, we're in there. And we'll have the next group that we're gonna interview for the kids that are going to Pattonville, and this is, you know, more of a expanded area. We'll do that next Thursday. So we should have all the scholarships announced within the next couple of weeks. And
So-
so you can say every day we, the one day and one day.
So tomorrow, what time where?
Minor high school, I'm not sure the exact location yet. but,
Okay. Sounds good. It's still early.
We have to draw. We have to draw. We have to- Oh, yeah. It's should be, absolutely. Be. Yeah. We.